Coming up on Marlins Clubhouse, former Marlin Juan Pierre coaches us through taking a secondary lead.
Keep an eye on the pitcher because the pitcher can be the only one that picked you off.
And Marlins starter Tom Kohler takes us along his roller coaster ride to the big leagues.
They had told me before the game that I was not getting called up. On the bus ride back, I got a call from our manager saying that they changed their mind.
And we'll recap the Miami Marlins making history in the first ever professional sporting event played on an active U.S. military base. We learned some things we didn't know in our new segment, Ask the Marlins. And we'll find out some of the secrets and strategies the players use to stay healthy over the grueling baseball season.
I don't like to be in the training room, but if I feel a little bit of something, I get in there because a little bit of something can turn into something big.
That and much more on Marlins Clubhouse. Hello everybody, welcome to Marlins Clubhouse, the show that gives you the skinny about baseball in South Florida. I'm Preston Wilson, and I'll be your host for the next half hour. Thanks for resting your remote right here. Stick around, it's been quite an exciting summer. The Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves played a first-of-its-kind regular season game in celebration of the nation's servicemen and women at Fort Bragg, North Carolina on July 3rd. The crowd was made up of 12,500 military family members who were there to witness the first ever professional sporting event played on an active U.S. military base.
What our soldiers and the people across seas have done for this country is unbelievable. Just fighting for our freedom on a daily basis, and for us to get to kind of commemorate them one day a year, it's huge for us to be able to do that.
The stadium was built to host these types of games and will be converted to a permanent softball field and multi-purpose facility for those who serve at Fort Bragg. A gift, courtesy of the Major League Baseball clubs and players.
America's history, America's pastime. It's just like, it's what everybody does. I feel like goes to a baseball game. Hot dogs and a beer and watching some good baseball, you know. It's a good time, and being able to play and be the entertainment for people, it's pretty cool.
The teams were scoreless through 4 innings. JT Real Muto, who went 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and scored 3 runs, hit the first ever home run at Fort Bragg Field in the 9th. Christian Yelich, who has a brother in the Marines, did his part with 3 hits and an RBI single. In 6 innings of work, Adam Connolly picked up his 5th win of the season, allowing just 4 hits and a walk. Marlins win 5-2.
You know, that was one of the favorite baseball games I've ever played, and you know, to be here in front of the servicemen and women was unbelievable.
It was probably the best venue and kind of feeling in a game that ever had.
Just to see how excited they were for us to be there, and any chance we can to give back to them is you know, it's really what it's all about.
It was a cool atmosphere. You know, you could tell that they were so excited to have us, and as were we to be there. So I'm just glad we could do it.
The 2016 All-Star Game came and went, but the buzz wasn't the game itself. We'll get to that in just a second. Congratulations to Marcell Ozuna, Jose Fernandez, AJ Ramos, and Fernando Rodney for representing the Miami Marlins on the West Coast. The highlight of the week was when Giancarlo Stanton unleashed an incredible display of power at the 2016 T-Mobile Home Run Derby in San Diego. Stanton stole the show at Petco Park, blasting a record 61 total homers over 3 rounds, defeating defending champion Todd Frazier 20-13 in the finals. Not only did he hit the 10 longest homers, 2 of those traveled 497 feet. Stanton is the first Marlin to win the Home Run Derby.
That was amazing, especially having my teammates there. My family was there. San Diego was beautiful. The fans were great. Everything about it was great. I was in a groove. The new format is cool because you can be bad for a little while and then catch a groove and still come back. That's what makes it more exciting.
It was cool. I think we were all pulling for him, everybody in the locker room. I was excited. I was excited for him and Shiner, you know, because it's tough to hit those homers. It's also tough, you know, to throw that many good pitches, and they both did a great job, and, you know, we're really excited for him.
Yeah, it's super impressive, but at the same time, he's not always trying to hit home runs in BP before games. So when you get into that atmosphere, and that's the main objective, you finally get to see what he's capable of doing.
I think he's just, we watch him on a daily basis in BP, and he hits balls that just kind of, you know, take our breath away, if you will. But yeah, he's a very special talent.
By the way, folks, the Marlins are hosting an All-Star game next year.
I know that Miami's going to be a great All-Star host, and all of us at Major League Baseball can't wait to get here next summer.
Check out the new logo. They just unveiled it. Get your tickets now for the 2017 All-Star game.
Marlins Clubhouse is home to the greatest tips, stories, and baseball journeys. We want to hear from you, so email us at marlinsclubhouse@gmail.com or send a tweet to Marlin Clubhouse with your questions.
As a hitter, once you get yourself on base, your work is far from done. You want to make sure you put yourself in the best possible position to advance and score. Former Marlin and 3-time stolen base leader Juan Pierre has some advice on getting that secondary lead in our Coach's Corner.
Second base is a little bit easier because you don't have a guy actually standing on the bag, so you can get a bigger lead. You're in scoring position. We're going to talk about you check your outfielder, see where they're playing. But this is about on a base hit, get your secondary lead and scoring. So you want to get off so you can just play around with it wherever you want to go. Don't cross your feet still. We're still not crossing the feet. We're still not clicking. But you can walk more off this bag because you got a lot more time. So you're walking, you're always checking, but you keep an eye on the pitcher because the pitcher can be the only one that pick you off. You turn your head looking at them, and he has the ball. So you want to get here, you get a bigger lead, and we're talking about secondary lead. This throw is a lot longer to throw the catcher to second base, so you can get a bigger secondary lead, and you got to know if the catcher likes to throw behind and stuff like that, but you have a good distance to get in. So once the ball leaves the pitcher's hand, going toward home plate, you want to get a secondary lead. And the way you get a secondary lead, you just want to start off with this foot so you don't click. You start moving this foot first, and then you shuffle, shuffle, and then you want your momentum right here. Not all the way here because you still want to be able to get back, Casey back pick, but you want your momentum here. Casey makes contact, and then you can go around and score the bag. I didn't like to get too far back in the line. I like to get even because I could make the sharp turn, but even if you like to step off a little bit, give you a little bit better angle to making that round at third base, then you can do that. That's your preference right there. But your main thing is try to get to score. So you're off here, you're getting your lead, you're right here. Pitcher goes to the plate. Make sure you start off with this foot because that'll enable you not to click. So you start here and then start shuffling, then you're good. So you try to start here, then you click. So that's important. So you hear it, you relax, ball crosses home plate, shuffle, shuffle, boom. Oh, you didn't swing, so you can easily get back. Same thing as when he goes. You're gonna pretend like he's hitting the ball right now. So you're gonna get your lead, shuffle, shuffle, ball hit, go. And now you're picking up your third base coach telling you to stop or go. But you want to get good momentum and good distance in order for you to score because you can't win if you don't score. So the bottom line, you want to be in a good position so you can score the run, get your man the RBI, everybody's happy, mom's happy, wife happy, you score the run.
Coming up next, Tom Kohler takes us on a journey of his lifetime. And we cool you down in the summer heat with some facts about cryotherapy. Welcome back to Marlins Clubhouse, presented by UHealth. Next, we get up close and personal with a Marlins starting pitcher who has degrees in both history and sociology. It's impressive. In 2015, Tom Kohler led the Marlins in starts, innings pitched, wins, and strikeouts. He's a busy man. Kohler takes the mound in my journey.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom Kohler, starting pitcher for the Miami Marlins, and this is my baseball journey. I was born in the Bronx on June 9th. Oh, wow, that's on my birthday. I was born in the Bronx, June 29th, 1986. My first memory, I was about 4 years old, and I remember playing catch with my dad and just kind of running around screaming ball, and next thing you know, I fell in love with it, and 25 years later, I'm still playing. Surprisingly, growing up, my favorite childhood player was Don Mattingly. I got to see him play a lot when I was a kid, and it was towards the end of his career. Really wish I got to see him in the beginning. I never thought about wearing a mustache because of him. I can't pull that one off. My best Little League memory might be when me and my dad drove back from family vacation. We left at 5 o'clock in the morning. We were in Pennsylvania to make a game in New York, and then I ended up hitting a walk-off single in the 11th inning. It was an all-star game to get us into the regionals. Went to Nershaw High School. I pitched, got to play right field, and we advanced to the state tournament, but we really never went deep into it. We always found a way to make a little mistake. I went to the State University of New York at Stony Brook out on Long Island, New York. My time there, we went to the conference championship about twice, and we won it my senior year. We went to the Arizona State Regional. It was a great experience. I got to pitch against Arizona State when they had, I think, 9 guys drafted or 14 guys drafted that year. Jason Kipnis, Brett Wallace, Ike Davis, Mike Leake, all these guys who have gone on to have successful major league careers. So that was my first real test against some phenomenal competition. After I got drafted, went straight to Jamestown. Then from there, Greensboro. Halfway through the year, I got called up to Jupiter, played for the Hammerheads. 2010, played on the Southern League Championship team for the Jacksonville Suns. And then I spent 2011 and 2012 with the New Orleans Zephyrs. The day that I got called up was kind of interesting because it was at the end of the 2012 season. They had told me before the game that I was not getting called up, and I was actually on a bus back to New Orleans with only 3 other players because there was a hurricane in New Orleans. So everybody flew home from Round Rock, and on the bus ride back, I got a call from our manager saying that they changed their mind. So in a matter of 6 hours, I went from thinking I wasn't getting called up to I was, and it was I couldn't believe it. I called my parents, called my wife. None of them could believe it because I had told them I wasn't going to get called up. They thought I was making a joke, but that next morning I was on a plane to Miami. Don't be afraid to play multiple sports. You get to really build your athleticism by trying new things, and just work hard. Don't make any excuses. To get here, you got to make sacrifices along the way, and you got to work hard. And if you do that, and if you're talented, somebody will find you, and you'll get a chance. Thanks for listening to my baseball journey. Preston, back to you.
Coming up, we chat with the speedy switch hitter, Anthony Seymour.
Speed is my game. Basically, just hit the ball on the ground and play short game.
And we show you some secrets on how the athletes stay at the top of their game. Welcome back to Marlins Clubhouse. I'm Preston Wilson. Working out is a necessity of the game. Let's find out some of the players' least favorite workouts in a new segment we call Ask the Marlins.
My least favorite workout is running.
My least favorite workout is legs, for sure.
Pilates.
Burpees. My least favorite workout would probably be squats.
Running. My least favorite workout is shuttle runs. I hate doing shuttle runs. Really hate them.
My least favorite workout is swimming. Squats.
My least favorite workouts are Turkish get-ups.
I guess just running on a treadmill because that gets boring. Slide lunges. I don't know why I hate those so much, but it's good for the booty.
We have a draft update. Left-handed Braxton Garrett was recently selected by the Marlins as the 7th overall pick in this year's amateur draft. The 6'3", 190-pounder had a 0.53 ERA and 131 strikeouts this past season for Florence High School in Alabama. Next month, check in and we'll have a full report from Jupiter on Garrett's progress. Now let's get to Anthony Seymour. If that name sounds familiar in Palm Beach County, it should. Anthony played for American Heritage Delray campus back in 2014.
My name is Anthony Seymour, Miami Marlins, play shortstop.
The former Heritage Stallion had to tackle a lot in his first year of pro ball.
In my first year, I was a right-handed hitter, center fielder, and during instructs that first year, they made me a shortstop, and I became a switch hitter. So it's been tough, but it's also been fun experience.
As long as Anthony gets on base, the best part of his game will be displayed. This year with the Greensboro Grasshoppers, he's been focusing on his short game.
Speed is my game. Basically, just hit the ball on the ground, bunt the baseball, and play short game.
Anthony is determined to continue to better his game from all aspects.
Basically just playing my game, just hitting more balls on the ground, limit the fly balls, put more bunts down, and just do me.
This past June, he nearly missed being the Marlins Minor League Player of the Month. Seymour had 33 stolen bases, 23 more than anybody else on the team. It looks like he's putting it all together.
I'm very excited. Really worked hard this offseason, so I just want to see what all that hard work is going to do for me this year.
Seymour was born in the Bahamas. He loves playing and representing South Florida.
Actually, it really does. Like, it means a lot to me because growing up, the Marlins was one of my favorite teams, and because it's right there to the Bahamas, and we don't really have sports like professional baseball, football teams. So everyone in the Bahamas was like Miami Marlins, Miami Dolphins, or Miami Heat fans, you know. So it's fun for me. I'm around here. I get to stay close to home, the Bahamas. Hopefully, I get a chance one day to play in Miami.
Don't change that dial. We'll share some of the cold, hard secrets to staying in the game.
It's basically like getting in an ice bath, but it only takes 3 minutes.
That's next on Marlins Clubhouse. Welcome back to Marlins Clubhouse. I'm Preston Wilson. The baseball season can be long and taxing on a player. I know. I played for a while. And if you don't believe me, ask my knees. They can tell you the real story. Guys these days, they have different strategies they live by to help them stay on top of their game. Some of these strategies include cryotherapy, ice baths, special workouts, and regimens. I wonder, was I that needy as a player? Nah, I think I was pretty good. Jessica Blaylock caught up with some of the Miami Marlins to get an insight on their daily routine as a baseball player on the road to recovery.
As soon as the game is over, the players head to the clubhouse for a post-game celebration, while the media goes lurking for tonight's headlines. The road to recovery for tomorrow's game has already begun.
First thing I do is get in the ice tub and try to replenish the body a little bit, get rid of the pain in my knees. So then after the ice tub, usually the cryogenesis lab we have, I use that quite often, which is awesome. That replenishes the body great.
So the cryotherapy chamber is pretty much a 6 foot, 7 foot tall chamber. You stand in, and the only thing out of it is your head, so your neck up, and everything else is in a chamber, and it pumps I think negative 160 degree cold air onto your body, and it's only for 2 or 3 minutes, and it's really, really brutally cold.
The first few minutes are pretty bad. The last minute's really intense, and so once you get, everybody always asks how much longer, how much longer, how much longer, because that's the coldest part, because it slowly gets colder. It doesn't come out at 100 degrees Celsius right away, so it slowly gets colder as it goes through the liquid nitrogen.
It's freezing cold, and it's basically like getting in an ice bath, but it only takes 3 minutes, and the effects are supposed to be 3 times more than what you get from an ice bath, and it's only 3 minutes long, so it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool is an understatement. Half the teams in Major League Baseball are now using cryogenics to recover.
So I come in, if I have any kind of aches and pains, I normally I don't like to be in a training room, but if I feel a little bit of something, I get in there because a little bit of something can turn into something big.
So what I do as soon as I get off the field, hopefully after a win, and we share the time together in the clubhouse and have some fun, I'll go straight into my workout.
Derek Dietrich used to lift before a game.
I've kept all of my strength training and training with weights after the game. I just wanted to really maintain as much energy as possible, as much strength as possible, everything I could to put into the game. Maybe a 30-minute session every other day, upper and lower body.
Derek finishes the night by watching his at-bats from tonight's game.
The thing where after the game is I'll go and quickly watch my at-bats, and I'll make some notes, and I'll jot my notes down for what I did well that day, what I didn't do so well, and what I can fix, and what adjustment I can make. Some nights it's quick, it's everything went well, there's nothing to adjust, nothing to fix. Other nights there's things that I can do differently to be better the next day.
I'm gonna get on the bike and finish the day riding out 20-30 minutes on a bike. You kind of don't really get out of here until you're not done doing stuff. It takes about an hour and a half once the game's over, for whenever you're finally done. Okay, now I'm gonna take a shower, grab a bite to eat if you're gonna eat, and you get home around 11:30, 12 o'clock.
My sleep schedule's a little different than everybody else, so I usually stay up pretty late, pretty wired after games, so I don't get to bed till usually 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Hey guys, make sure you stay at the top of your game by getting plenty of rest and making sure you are hydrated. Heat exhaustion is a major concern in the summer months, but don't sweat it. UHealth has some tips on how to recognize and avoid dehydration.
If you think about it, your body's 60-70% water. So if you have a decrease in that water balance, it's going to set your body up for failure and you won't be able to perform how you want to perform. If you start to notice you're not sweating, your heart rate is racing, you're starting to get a headache, you're getting lightheadedness, and you want to faint, those are all pretty serious symptoms that you may be very dehydrated and on the verge of having a heat illness. The biggest thing to combat dehydration is actually the days leading up to competition. So making sure you're getting adequate fluid intake those days before the competition. And then during competition, the American College of Sports Medicine recommends 4 to 8 ounces of fluid every 15 to 20 minutes of hard exercise or competition. And then after you compete, that's when you have to replete your fluids as well. So it's important to drink before, during, and after to replenish your fluids.
Well kids, that's a wrap for now. I hope you learned something new. Now get out there and play some ball. Thanks again for joining Marlins Clubhouse presented by UHealth. I'm Preston Wilson, and remember kids, hit them where they aim.